Third grade mathematicians, I have another lesson for you. This one is about quadrilaterals. So, quadrilateral. You might remember quadrilaterals from second grade, or you might be thinking quad. I've heard that before. Yeah, like a quad that you ride. A couple of you I have in my mind that I bet you've ridden quads. So think, how many wheels does a quad have? A quad ATV? Yeah, 4 wheels. So it's the same thing with quadrilaterals. Let me show you. Look at these shapes. Okay, so they're two-dimensional shapes, right? They're flat shapes. How many sides do all of these shapes have? 4. Now, they're not really, some of them are kind of wonky. Like this one, well, it's backwards for me. Okay, there. This one's kind of wonky, right? This one I recognize. What's this one? Yeah, it's a quadrilateral, but it's also a rectangle, right? Or like this one you recognize because of hexagon spin and fill, right? It's a hexagon, but it's also a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. Say it, quadrilateral. It's a mouthful, quadrilateral. I know, I'm a dork. That's okay, we can handle it. All right, so when you look at this worksheet, at the top it says, cross out the figure that is not a parallelogram. What? I thought you just told me it was a quadrilateral. Wow. How many sides do these shapes have at the top here? How many sides do all of these guys have? Yes, 4. So they're quadrilaterals. But these guys, some of them are also parallelogram. We'll talk about that in just a sec. Now look at these shapes. How many sides do they all have? Yep, 4. So once again, they are quadrilaterals. They're quadrilaterals. All these shapes are quadrilaterals. But now we need to figure out what's a parallelogram and what's a trapezoid. Let me help you. So parallel. Here's our word card for parallel. It says a two-dimensional flat shape with 4 sides, with both pairs of opposite sides parallel. Okay. Both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. So for, let's see, this shape, you can see that these 2 lines are parallel and these 2 lines are parallel. Now, parallel. What parallel means is that the lines or the sides are always the same distance apart. Okay? When I think about parallel, I think about railroad tracks. Okay? So I have railroad tracks here. Now, these railroad tracks are going to stay the same distance apart the whole time. Because if one of them goes like this, what's going to happen to the train? Yeah, the wheels are going to come off the track because they're not even. They're not parallel. Okay? Another way to think about parallel lines is that when you look at a shape, if the line kept going, so let's say this one was like this. If the line keeps going, it's going to run in or cross over the other line because it's not the same distance apart. Okay? Or if it kept going, let's say this way, it's going to get further away from this line. So you want to think for parallelogram, parallel lines, you want to think train tracks, parallel. Okay? So let's look back at our worksheet. So on this top one, it says, cross out the shape that is not a parallelogram. Okay, so I'm looking for a shape that is not a parallelogram. And I know that a parallelogram has both sides that are parallel. So let's look at the square. If those lines kept going forever and ever like railroad tracks, would they ever run into each other? Nope. What about the next one? Nope, that quadrilateral is also a parallelogram because those sides would never cross each other. Let's look at the next one, the trapezoid. Oops. There's that trapezoid. Now, let's see, if these lines kept going, would they ever run into each other? Are they like railroad tracks? Yep, they're equal distance apart. We're good to go with that one. But the other pair of lines, they would run into each other. So that one is not a parallelogram because a parallelogram has two sides or two pairs of opposite sides that are parallel. So that trapezoid, nope. What's it say to do? Cross out. So I'm going to cross him out. What about the next one? This guy. Oh yeah, both of those sides are parallel. So we're not going to cross him out either. Now, all of these shapes in that top section have how many sides? 4. So they're all quadrilaterals. Let's look down at the second section here, number 2. Cross out the figure, just one, that is not a trapezoid. Okay, let's look back at our definition of trapezoid. Two-dimensional flat shape with 4 sides. Well, we know they're all quadrilaterals. We know they all have 4 sides, right? Exactly one pair of which are parallel. So with a trapezoid, we're looking for a shape that has one pair of parallel lines. Now, let's look at this guy. How many pairs of parallel lines? 1 pair. Oh, we're good with that one. That one's definitely a trapezoid. Now this one, 1 pair of parallel lines. There's a pair. Oh, wait, there's a pair. Cross out the figure that is not a trapezoid. Is that a trapezoid? No, a trapezoid only has 1 pair of parallel lines. This guy has 2. I got to cross him out. But before I do that, I'm going to check the other ones, okay? Just to double check myself. Now, how about this one? 1 pair of parallel lines. These 2? Yeah, definitely the same distance apart. They're parallel. But these 2, look real close. They're not parallel, are they? Okay, what about this one? So it's a trapezoid. This one? That last one? Yeah, just 1 set of parallel lines. It's a trapezoid, you're right. So I can't cross them out. So which one do I cross out? Yeah, the rectangle, because it has 2 pair of parallel lines. All right, now, number 3 and 4 you get to do on your own. How is a trapezoid like a parallelogram? You're thinking it has 4 sides, okay? Let's use a different example. Use labeled sketches and words to explain. The next one also says, how are a trapezoid and a parallelogram different? Do you see that I underlined like and different? Like and different. So how are they alike and how are they different? All right, finally, at the bottom of the page, you will see some addition and subtraction practice. And you'll see that they go up and down. Still the same, okay? And we're going to do one together. All right, so the one I chose to do together is the very first one, and it is 39 plus 141. Even though it's written like this, which we don't often write our equations like this, I can still use number line or break apart. I like the number line. I'm going to use number line. So I'm going to start over here with 141. I always start with a bigger number. And, oh, it says to add. So I'm going to add 39. Now, what should I add first? I've got 9 ones. And I've got 3 tens. Well, it depends. If I added the 9 ones, ooh, it would get me to a friendly number. Because 9 and 1 would get me to what? 10, 150. Oh, I'm definitely doing that. So plus 9. So I'm going to jump 9, and that's going to get me up to 150. Okay, what's left to jump? Well, I've jumped the 9 ones. Now I've got, the 9 ones. Now I've got to jump the 3 10s. Okay, so I've got to jump 3 10s. So I'm at 150. Count with me. 10 more than 150. 160. Good. 170. And where do we land? 180. 180. So I jumped 39 right here. First I jumped 9, then I jumped one jump of 10, 2 jumps of 10, 3 jumps of 10. And I got to 180. So I'm going to put that 180. Bam. See you next time.